All right, hello everyone, and welcome to Sprint 49 of YakShaver. We are getting into it here. We have boom, boom, boom. Sprint goal was to try and get ready for end-to-end testing of multi-tenancy. We didn't quite get there because Octopus died, as octopuses tend to do, on Friday, and it is not back up yet. So we haven't been able to deploy the last 4 or 5 PBIs, but they're ready to go. The people working on this are almost full-time people.
Is that an issue with octopus.com, or is that an issue with our implementation?
I believe it's just YakShaver that's having this problem, because TimePro got a deployment through today. So Chris is looking into it.
Okay.
Yeah. So here's our PBI done. I'll go through this in here because it's easier to see what's going on. So these are the done PBIs. So the hero on the website, we've got this little scrolling email, ticket, task, PBI, etc. thing, which is quite nice. By the way, Josh is working on a bit more of a thorough redesign to the homepage, which does look pretty cool and should be done in the next sprint as well if we get him. Although we're playing tug of war with Josh with the Tina team, so it is slowing us down a bit.
No, you're not. I cleared that up. You were
thank you.
Not playing tug of war. You've got him all systems go.
Brilliant. That's good to know. Okay, cool. He was,
by
the way,
the new tagline that Mish suggested?
No, where was that?
Oh, there is an improved. I believe there should be an email about it to probably Josh or someone.
Okay, cool. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, I saw you just have the website up. Sorry. So there was an email. You were on that call with me, I think. And then I saw it on the website.
Oh, you're not talking about the tagline.
I was able to make the changes.
Right?
Just the website tagline, yeah.
So sorry, this or this?
The top
show
line.
Again. Yeah, I'm talking about the website tagline. And then Adam mentioned my name. So I'm talking about the website tagline. That's what I changed.
What I've highlighted here?
Correct.
Okay, because when we were on a call, we fixed up this bit. So that's a different thing, is it?
No, that's what we fixed. That.
Oh, that part I shouldn't have called the tagline. Sorry, Ewan.
Yeah, cool. No, good. Yes, I agree. So this part has been fixed, not the tagline. This description section.
Okay.
Oh, that's what you're talking about. Yeah, cool. Yep.
Yeah, cool. All right, excellent. So we had a small bug. It was just a typo with calling the wrong endpoint. That's been fixed. This is a big deal. The Azure costs have gone down for staging by something like 75%, and for production by 50%. So that is amazing. Rick did some kind of crazy Azure magic to pull that off. And there's a breakdown here if you're interested about why it got so much cheaper. The main thing seems to be that for staging now, we're not spending anything. We've gone from $80 a month to $0 a month for production, and from 30 to 0 for staging, for now not using the container app anymore. So that's a big deal. But in general, by the way, this is a useful stat. For a company about SSW size, if we bring on another tenant, it's going to cost us about $60 of Azure and inference fees per month for about 90 to 100 people. That's a useful thing to know because obviously we need to cost it so that we make profit above that. So if we say we have, I don't know, 60, 70 users, at $3 per user per month, that would still be solidly profitable, but it's good to know that we've got that cost. Because we were talking about all kinds of like free tiers and things like that. So we need to make sure that doesn't get out of control if it's $60 per tenant of a company about our size. But yes, thank you, Rick. That was a huge change. We have any questions on that one? Because that one's important.
No, that was great.
Okay, cool. So we have a test tenant. This is kind of a test group of users in Entra ID, so that when we do want to do our testing, our end-to-end testing, hopefully this next sprint, we have kind of a organization ready to go called Northwind. There was a JSON deserialization issue. This has prompted us. Yeah.
That new tenant is important. Is there anything more to show us, or
it says
it says done? Is there a video or anything?
There's no video, but there's this. So basically, we have a few users on this with their own different kind of names. It's a legitimate Microsoft accounts. So we basically can test it now with these people in this different organization, as if they don't work at SSW, so decoupled from SSW.
Correct. So
Then
this
why is SSW in the square brackets?
Because they were initially invited from SSW account, but now they were converted to external tenant. But that can be updated.
Yeah, it just doesn't look very Northwindish.
Okay.
If you look at one of the rules, we have a rule that has the names that we put there for a default tenant, but it's not our own names.
Right.
It's like Bob, Mary, that type of thing.
So this is only visible by us, by the way. This isn't something that
is it?
anyone's going to see outside of us. This is just so we can test it in a tenant that's not SSW.
Oh, but they won't see this. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, this isn't like the demo account or anything like that.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
purely for end-to-end testing to go through the whole sign-up process and
Got it. Okay. So, Tom, you've been on the booth at Tina. You kind of know what's involved in having to demo it. Just imagine you're going to throw poor Lewis and Hajir, on the booth. You need them to watch a video so they know what to do.
yep.
That's a good point. Hajir he's just joined us today, but he is in Melbourne. So maybe he could come to NDC and be on the booth. I don't know. Could be good to have a YakShaver dev on the booth.
We'll see how good he is at demoing it.
This is a JSON issue. There is a structured JSON mode, which we're going to investigate using more thoroughly because we're not using it everywhere for some reason at the moment. The what's it called? Application insights pops up with errors. This was the error from last week, so it's fixed. What's this one? Oh, okay. So Easy Leave and Time Pro share a repository. There's two different iterations for the one project, or two different projects for the one repository, or whatever the words are for it. But basically, that was causing a problem that got fixed. We had an issue where people were being mentioned both as the requester and also as an interested person. So they were being mentioned twice. That's been fixed. If you made a new project and it didn't have a backlog URL, that was causing a problem, but we want that to be okay because we want to be able to default to sending an email for when they don't have a backlog. So that was fixed also. And this is a big one. So YakShaver was using Dynamics directly as its source of project information. Now it has its own project table, and that syncs from Dynamics for us. We're going to be the only company that exists with a list of projects in Dynamics, so that's only for us. For external people, it will either be manually entered, pulled in, imported from a CSV, or synced from their repositories in Azure DevOps and GitHub for their list of projects. Did you get that? There's a bit going on in that, what I just said. So,
can you explain again?
Yeah. So we were using the Dynamics projects list as our source of truth for projects, but clients, like external clients, won't have that because that's a custom list we created. So we have now a table in YakShaver, which is, you can manually enter as many projects as you want, but our sync options to pull in data from externally are doing it manually, importing from CSV. So if they just have an Excel file or whatever, and they just want to pull it in. And also we can sync the repository names from GitHub or Azure DevOps. So if you've just got an organization, a GitHub organization with 20 different repositories, you can just say, I'll bring all of them in and then tick, tick, tick. Yes, I want all those ones, please.
Right. Would we be able to make these connectors open source and make the Dynamics one open source? So if somebody wants to add a Salesforce one, they can do that?
I guess that's a question for a Dynamics dev.
No.
You guys know?
It's the implementation.
Yes, we can. We can do that, but they require some refactors.
Yeah. Okay. So
should we quickly shave that?
Yeah, I think you should. It's all currently does there need to be any refactoring to the dependency injection?
Yes.
There will be. Okay.
So we can do that post NDC protect, maybe.
Okay. But in hindsight, this was predictable. Do you think that the way you've structured it is fine?
It wasn't clear to me in the first place, but
Right.
yeah, I think this is a good option that we open up the opportunities for other people to integrate with us.
Yeah. Look, I don't exactly know who did it and who accepted the pull request, but I think that when you do this work, you should look at that because.
So
this-
sorry,
this
I'm
style-
not understanding. What are we saying we're open sourcing?
We're open sourcing just the connector, just the bits that we're open sourcing the Dynamics connector. So other people, wherever their projects live, they could add an extra one. So if anyone says, "Oh, can you do it from my data source, SAP?" We go, "Well, we have a Dynamics connector, and somebody's built a Salesforce one. You could make your own SAP one."
So I guess my first thought is that we're not like no one else could use the Dynamics connector that we have because there's no such thing as projects in Dynamics. We created that.
Yeah, you just give it the entity name and the fields, and you're good to go. That's why I'm asking about.
Oh, so it's like an extension to Dynamics.
Yes. Yeah. So Dynamics is just the connector. The entities should not be hard coded. Callum, are you agreeing with me on this?
I mean, yeah, it's definitely an option. I thought we discussed this before about you know, the way that we monetize YakShaver could be by selling consulting services to customize it rather than as a product, didn't we? I don't remember what happened with that discussion, but
I
Yeah,
think
you
we should
to-
make
you
it as
totally
easy
could do
to
that.
implement as possible. Like if there's a
I still think that we could offer to build those connectors for people.
Yeah.
But I don't think that stops it being open source.
of course they can build their own if they want, if it's open source.
Okay.
It wouldn't be too hard. I guess it's just more of a business decision for Yuli to think about.
well, let's add it to the backlog and we can figure it out later. Rick, can you shave that?
Yep.
Just because I'm already recording.
Do
Do you understand it well enough to explain it, or do you want Adam to explain it?
No, I need to start my
Snag it.
But can you explain it, Rick, or do you want me to?
No, I can try. Snag it. Sorry, I don't have snag it on my shortcut.
That's right. You can use Windows Shift R if you prefer.
Or
For the snipping tool.
okay. All right, I have a feature request for YakShaver. So right now we have integrated with multiple services like GitHub or Azure DevOps. We want to open up more opportunities to integrate with other providers, maybe Salesforce, maybe Jira in the future. So please investigate the viability of doing so and get checked by Yuli.
So also that connector should be open source. And Adam mentioned that this was for bringing in project information, but by the sounds of it, Rick, you're also thinking about using it for connecting with people's work item tracking systems.
Right.
Okay, Adam, is that everything?
It's close enough, yes.
Okay, cool.
All right, done.
Lovely, thank you. All right, let's move on. Yeah, all right, so that was everything. So let's get back to the email. So there were others which are pending release. So these are pretty much done. All of these are actually ones. We've already fixed this in the backend system. So these are all pretty much done. And as soon as Octopus is working, they'll be deployed as well. I'll end up going through these in next week's sprint review, so I won't go through them in detail now.
Oh, I think you can go through them now, Yuli, because the deployment
They should be live by tomorrow. Yeah, okay, no dramas. So integrating multiple GitHub accounts. So this allows us to have multiple, a company might have more than one GitHub organization and set of repositories. So we needed to allow for that. Remembering that this is a way that project data will sometimes be synced in. If people don't have a list of projects, they might have a list of repositories and they'll do that instead. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yep. So that's actually what we just talked about, syncing projects with the GitHub connection. So, and now with multiple GitHub connections. Client portal and backend. So this is getting CSV import. So if you just want, you have whatever system that can export to CSV, you can now import it from that as well. This was a tiny little UI issue. We had a plus when you were showing the number of users or the number of projects or something, but the plus didn't make sense. We just wanted the number, so we got rid of the plus. Okay, the website is going to show the total number of shaves in real time. So it'll have a little counter that will show the total number of shaves that have ever been done, which I love the idea of that. So that'll just tick up as it goes along. So it needed an API endpoint for Josh to hook into for that. And that's it.
Awesome.
Yep. All right. So our code coverage has dropped from 26 down to 23. This is a pattern that has continued for about the last 8 consecutive sprints. So we're thinking Hajir might want to, as one of his first things when he gets onboarded, just jump in and look at the main areas where he thinks we can add some unit tests. Tom has a thing.
Yeah, so I had a look at the last code coverage and I noticed that the coverage report included fluent assertions, which is, or fluent validation, sorry, which is a plugin that I built with my, not built, that I added into my unit tests. So if I exclude that, line coverage should go up.
Okay.
So for some reason, the report included that as part of the report.
All right. So will you fix that?
Yeah.
Okay. Beautiful. We did get 4 deployments done before Octopus went down. So by Thursday, we have 1 more to go, obviously, once it's fixed. We do have 3,500 errors, 3,500 failed requests. These are mainly 404s, I believe, and there's an issue that's been tracked and is in the next sprint. The guys are telling me that this is hard to screen out or fix because this is just caused by, spiders and bots and whatnot, just probing potential endpoints. But Tom had a sneaky idea with a honeypot and a temporary ban and all kinds of stuff. So we'll see what we can do. Because I worry that these numbers make it impossible. Like the signal to noise ratio is really bad, right? Because then when you do have an important problem, we don't know because it's hidden by the thousands of 404s. By the way, this is a conversation I've had about 700 times with every single team. So surely there must be a solution for it. The leaderboard's looking pretty good. We got Michael Smedley jumping to the top now, which is good to see. Caleb's using it a lot. Levi's still using it a lot. Yeah.
Stephen, would it be possible, or do you already have a task there where you give us an extra column for their main project?
Yeah, I sent you an email and had a proposal inside.
You didn't chase him up, Stephen.
That's not,
Yeah.
Stephen, if I send you a request to add an extra column, don't send me back an email and then stop working on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So Stephen, you need to chase up Adam for an answer to that question then.
Right. Okay.
Cool. By the way, Adam, you're not on this list. You need to shave more yaks.
Oh yes, I know. You're right.
Jolly good. All right. Mish, I want to see you on here too. Okay, cool. So the NDC Melbourne Epic is obviously the one which we're pushing towards. I don't know if you remember, but last week we had some crazy jump in percentage, and it's dropped. It's only gone 4% up this week, even though almost every PBI we did was to do with it, and that's because they have identified, as I thought they might, a bunch more stuff that needs to be done, which has been added to the Epic. So that's okay, because we're going to work on that this spring. Basic gist of the retro is that the reduction in cost is a huge deal, and that's awesome. Plenty of progress towards multi-tenancy. It was good to see Hajir added to the project. That only just happened today. So that was an exciting addition. What else? And Octopus was down, which is the main problem. So moving on to planning, if we're all good to do that.
Sorry, can I just have one more retro point?
Yes.
I do think it's important that everybody on the team can quickly shave a yak. I don't, like, we saw that Rick was a little slow. Tom, would have you been faster?
Sorry, can you repeat that? The beginning,
Are
I
you
didn't.
ready to shave a yak right now?
Not with Snagit. Probably I had to leave the meeting temporarily.
So do you not
Lewis?
use Snagit or Snippet or the snipping tool?
I have the default Windows snipping tool on here.
Have you set it up to shave the yak with that? Like, have you changed where it saves to?
No, I haven't.
Okay, cool. So
changed
everyone on the
anything.
team, can you all set yourself a note to do that, to update, to use that? Because then if you ever press Windows Shift R, you can shave the yak immediately. You don't need to do any spin up or set up or anything. Like once you've just changed the save location for it. Everyone got that? Hajir, you too, man. Okay. There's a doc in the website that explains how to do it. It's pretty simple. Cool.
Okay. So, Yuli, at the next sprint review at the beginning, just test everyone can do it quickly.
Remind me on Monday at 3 p.m. to make sure everyone can quickly shave the yak using Windows Shift R.
So,
cool.
Guys, in the meantime, can you make sure you practice that?
Yep. All right, beautiful. Any other retro notes, Adam?
No?
Okay, lovely. Yeah, sorry. So moving on. So we have planning. We are going to work on a lot of stuff. I'll try and go through it pretty quickly. The 5 items that I mentioned already that I went through, the pending release items. We've got to get multi-tenancy support for GitHub syncing to YakShaver. We need Azure DevOps to sync across to the projects list in YakShaver. There's some project source sync algorithm that's going to make that easier. Then at that point, we'll be ready for end-to-end testing. So that's an important milestone. Theoretically, everything above this line is required for kind of MVP multi-tenancy. So about halfway through the sprint, I'm expecting to be able to start testing.
And what will be your experience, Yuli? How will you test multi-tenancy as just a normal non-SSW person?
That's a good question. I don't know. I'll have to ask Ricky. I know he set up the Northwind tenant, so I assume it's something to do with that. But ideally it would be via the website, right? And full like just going and clicking go.
Yeah, I'm going to remind you to think about the acceptance criteria, get them and get you in sync with what the end user experience will be.
Okay, cool. We do have, I'll just quickly show you this. So an easy UX onboarding wizard to help set up, integration of Enter ID. So that would be kind of the first user's experience. Click on the website, sign up, go, like the actual nice user experience. I think this end-to-end test is more like a technical test to check that nothing's actually broken.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So we have a few bugs that were sitting in the backlog that we thought we should fix up that sounded like they might impact people. I'm assuming a lot of these are pretty quick. The docs at the moment, so the docs are going to be important because a lot of the instructions for how to use it and how to use it in different ways are in the docs, but at the moment the docs are just ordered by the last one written is at the top. So that's not going to make sense. We're going to need the most important ones at the top. So that ordering is important for the website. Just a small typo, that's easy. Someone was unable to install the Teams app, which is no good. So that needs to be fixed. We want Google Analytics so that we know the difference in traffic before and after NDC.
Excellent.
This is just a portal, a UX thing, making sure it's dropped down by default because there's not that many options. We just talked about the UX for the onboarding wizard. We've got Hajir. We assume he's going to have to spend some time getting the F5 experience working. And then we are going to start work on the try it now, like the actual go to the website and give it a go button. That's going to work quite differently from the real use case. That's going to record through the browser and all that kind of stuff. So it's quite a different kind of parallel set of work. It's important and it would be nice to have by NDC, but it's not a must-have. We need multi-tenancy so that people can actually use it themselves if they want to. So that's planned to start this sprint as well, at least a spike to figure out how to do it. And that's everything. If everyone agree with that.
Looks good. Hajir, when you do your onboarding, try not to ask other people for help. Follow the instructions until it doesn't help you, and then call someone in, and then get the doco fixed.
Sure.
Nice. Okay, so we are going to put this video up in our usual playlist of YakShaver sprint reviews. If you want to see the history of this project, it's kind of a funny story. So guys, thank you very much. See you next time.
Cheers. Thanks, Julie.
All right.
Yeah.
Haven't finished deploying yet.